At the moment everything changed, my husband Caleb stood in our kitchen screaming at me, "You sold the country house. You idiot. I already promised it to my mother." There was no greeting, no question, just rage. Like I had destroyed something sacred. Like I wasn't his wife, but an obstacle. My name is Marissa Lane. I'm 32, and that morning I realized something important. This wasn't about a house. It was about control. The country house was in both our names, but I had been the one paying the mortgage for years. When I sold it, I did it for practical reasons. Our finances were strained, and I refused to sink further into a fantasy built on his mother's expectations. But Caleb didn't see practicality. He saw betrayal. He demanded his share immediately, assuming the money was still sitting untouched. That's when I told him the truth. The proceeds weren't sitting in a joint account anymore. I had already redirected them into legally protected accounts and a trust I controlled. Every dollar was accounted for, secured, and no longer available for impulsive decisions. His confidence cracked. "You can't just do this," he said, suddenly unsure. But I had already done it, quietly, carefully. After years of carrying the financial weight of our marriage alone, I explained it to him plainly. I had paid for the house, maintained the mortgage, and absorbed the pressure while his mother treated it like her future retirement plan. I wasn't going to be collateral in their expectations anymore. For the first time, he didn't shout back. He just stood there, confused, like the rules he believed in had stopped working that day. I went to my lawyer. She confirmed everything. The sale was legal. The ownership was mine as well, and I had every right to protect the funds. What Caleb saw as betrayal was, in legal terms, independence, but emotionally, the situation only escalated. His mother called, furious, accusing me of destroying their family plans. Caleb oscillated between anger and panic, trying to negotiate access to money that was no longer casually available. Then came the pressure, guilt, accusations, emotional manipulation. I was told I was selfish, disrespectful, disloyal. I stopped engaging. Instead, I documented everything. Bank records, ownership papers, communication history, every attempt to control or redirect shared finances without consent. And then I discovered something worse: hidden transfers Caleb had made earlier, moving money toward his mother under the guise of family support, money I had originally helped earn. The pattern became undeniable. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was entitlement backed by secrecy. So I made a decision. I froze joint access. I secured remaining assets. I allowed my lawyer to take over communication. When Caleb came home that night soaked in rain, asking where the money went, I told him the truth. It was protected, not hidden. He wasn't dealing with a loss of money. He was dealing with a loss of access. Days later, the confrontation reached its peak when his mother tried to challenge the sale legally. It failed immediately. Everything was documented. Everything was clean. But the real turning point wasn't legal, it was personal. Caleb finally saw that his mother's expectations and his assumptions had built a system where I existed only as a resource, not as a partner. And that system had collapsed. I didn't destroy his life. I simply stopped funding illusions. Eventually, the situation escalated into legal consequences for them, not me. Forged documents, false claims, and attempted manipulation of financial records all surfaced under scrutiny. What they thought was a private family arrangement became something far more serious. By the time it ended, the truth was simple. The house was never the issue. Control was, and once control was gone, everything else followed. I moved forward quietly. No dramatic revenge. No celebration. Just distance, structure, and peace. I rebuilt my life the same way I fixed everything else, carefully, independently, without asking permission. And for the first time, my future belonged only to me.